All praises to the Most High. This is Elliot. I want to talk about the empty vessels that are amongst us. But first, I want to start off by defining what a vessel is. A vessel is basically a hollow object. And in today's lesson, I'm going to be talking about hollowed out people that could be filled with something. And in today's lesson, I'm going to be talking about filled with darkness and evil to come against God's anointed, God's chosen people. It's important in these last days to understand a few things. That everyone around us is not for us, even if it seems like that they have nothing against us. Because in the times we live in right now, there's all kind of stuff that's going on in the world around us that is basically in the spirit realm and in the natural that is causing us to have to be on guard in everything that we do. The reason why I want to talk about this today is because I'm finding that to be important to see that there are many people around us that are not necessarily against us, but can be used against us at any moment. Empty vessels that can be filled with darkness by evil demons, evil energy and power to be used against us. I remember not too far in the distant future, several years ago, I was going through some major spiritual warfare. And I didn't understand spiritual warfare to the same level that I do today. And I remember there was a time where I'd entered a bakery, actually, and there was this lady in there that as soon as I came in, I'd already been going through all kind of stuff, but as soon as that I came into the store, her neck snapped and looked at me with this, I know who you are, and it's basically she was just immediately activated to come against me. Nothing happened, but I could sense it because I have a very strong sense of discernment. I remember other times where people who had no idea what my name is would end up, there would be some sort of confrontation or a demonic manifestation, and they would say my name. Sometimes I was like a deer caught in headlights. And this is in the beginning. Now I totally understand it. And I realized that these demons can be used to jump into people no matter where they are or you are. And that's really important to know in these last days, that there are many empty vessels amongst us. There are many people who may seem to be okay. It could be close friends. It could be family members. But if they're not filled with the Holy Spirit and submitted to the Spirit of the Most High God's Ruach, then they can be used against us. And that's a very important concept to know. One thing you cannot do is take everything to the point of taking it personally, because Satan doesn't play fair. You can end up talking to a straight demon who looks just like your parents, who looks just like your best friend, who looks just like your kids, who looks just like your loved one in any form. You look like your coworker because they've been overcome by a demonic spirit, vessels of darkness that are amongst us. So what I want to say today is to know that we need to be empowered in every way. We need to be prepared and aware that there are things that may come against us that are right next to us, no matter where we are. Now that was crazy because you can be under demonic attack. It could be just the natural demonic attack. It could be witchcraft warfare, whatever it is. And that whatever dark forces, dark spirits, dark energy that comes around you, that they can legally take authority and access the people around you that are vessels that are ready to be filled with darkness. It's not cool in any way. But if we're prepared and we don't get caught off guard, then we can know how to maneuver and operate in these last days. If there's someone around you that you know is not living for the Most High, that is basically open themselves up to all certain types of spirits, then you should be aware and know that any given moment that they can be used. And what I say is, do not, again, take it personal. Do not be scared or fearful if you see this happening to you. Because one of the most important things is to know in advance that this is possible. I remember watching a movie years ago called Fallen, had Denzel Washington in it. Don't really recommend watching it, but if you've seen it, maybe you can relate. I don't remember it. I saw it one time, but I never forgot certain things in it. But basically, it showed how evil spirits would just transfer from one person to one person to one person to one person. And, again, watching that as a young man at that time, I didn't really put things together. It was a good movie. And at that time, I probably wasn't spiritual enough I wasn't mature enough in the faith to think of that being real. I thought it might have been Hollywood. But that's true. You can be attacked by one particular entity that literally can just transfer from vessel to vessel to vessel to vessel that can be used to get to you exactly where you are. So I say to you, be very careful who you allow to access your life. Be very careful. Not everyone can have access to you, especially in these last days, because the warfare and the environment of the spirit realm has been turned up so heavily because Satan knows his time is short. And we have to be prepared to know that at any given moment, when we're out in public, or even in our own homes, depending, that someone can be literally possessed by a demon. It's not something that I really like to talk about that often because I like to focus in on faith and the purity of the Most High Spirit. But we know that in these days that darkness is very, very prevalent and prominent and dominant. And that the empty vessels around us are literally weapons, just loaded guns, ready to be fired at any moment. So again, if you know that there's somebody who's not living right, and what do you do, if they're really close to you? What if it's a family member? What if it's someone that you live with? Well, if there's any way that's possible that you can separate, no, wait. I want to be very careful. I'm not saying to leave any kind of marriages or anything like that. But if say for example, if you have a roommate or something like that, and you know that that living condition is not going to be right anymore, then maybe you can move and pray about being removed from the situation. Unless there's something the Most High is trying to train you in. A lot of times we go through this. Like I said, there's times I went through this in the past, and it was the Most High training me. He allowed it. Do you know that the Most High allows Satan to attack us? And if you don't learn, then you'll get burned. So be sure to know that if you're going through any kind of a spiritual warfare attack, learn the lesson, learn the tools of warfare, so you'll be able to prepare it and learn how to defeat them in the future. But if you can, again, separate yourself from these people. Don't get too close to them. Don't trust them, because at any given moment, you may not know who you're talking to. They may be overcome by a demon. But there are some keys. There's some times where you can kind of tell when somebody's acting out, when somebody's acting up because they've been literally possessed by a demon. Now, one key is to know if someone is overly flattering, if someone is really gassing you up and to the point where it just doesn't make any sense. That's kind of a precursor that they're trying to gain your trust, all right? And if that happens, be very leery, because right behind that usually comes the attack. Another thing is if someone's just completely out of character and just out of character evil, they have a grimace on their face, they may look at you differently. If you're around them, it may just seem like your energy is being pulled away from you, and you feel down, you feel uneasy. That is another indicator or marking that someone has been overcome by a particular demon that's ready to attack you. Now, this is crazy. It doesn't matter what you're going through. If, say it could be, you could be overcome, or say, what would it be? Lust? A lust demon. A demon of uh, poverty, a demon of ridicule. All these different demons can manifest in people wherever you are. It's crazy how they just can move to move to move to move. And you'll start to see some of the same manifestations in these people, no matter who it is. That's how you know you're dealing with something in the spirit realm that needs to be addressed. Always pull on the full armor of God, protecting yourself from the head to the toe. And be prayed up every day to know that anything's possible in this evil world that we live in. And at any given time, people right next to us can be very much used. Like I said, I'm not going to go into detail. I could go into detail. I have stories. Some things I really tried to not even remember. But I just remember having stories of people who just literally, demons that manifested in people literally right before me. I remember this lady who she was just antagonist. She was just bugging me, bugging me, bugging me, bugging me. And I was like, no, I said something to her, just like, get away from me. She was like, whatever, and said my name. I didn't know this lady from left to right, and said my name. And then I knew I was talking directly to a spirit. And, you know, the environments that you're in, if you're in environments that are full of these empty vessels, full of people who've submitted themselves to darkness, who've filled themselves up with the things of this world, who've allowed themselves to be, you know, toned down to the point where they're very, 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 very low in anything that is pure and holy, then yes, these people can be used. So there's certain atmospheres, there's certain environments that you want to stay away from. If you still think it's okay to go out and party and hit the clubs, just know that you're setting yourself up to be in an environment full of empty vessels. Even in the churches, there's a lot of things. I mean, it really just, the reason why this message is so prominent and why I feel like I have to deliver it now is that it's everywhere. The world has really gone dark. You can really see dark people everywhere you go, from the gas station to the grocery store, from church to school. They're full of it. And I mean darkness, and full of people who are ready to be indwelled by demons to attack God's chosen. So just be aware, knowing that you cannot take it personal if you see this manifestation occur in your life, and that you have to be on guard and knowing that anything is capable at any time if you're under spiritual attack. And that's one of the things that I think I really want to make sure that I portray or explain today, is that it can happen with just about anyone who's close enough to get access to you. So don't give access to everyone around you. Don't share everything about you to everyone. Find the few trusted people in your life that you know that are following the Most High with everything they have as well. And even with those people, give them the squint, because you just never know. You never know at any time this can happen. So just know that as we continue to go forth in these last days, that Satan will use many evil tactics and maneuvers to try to gain access to us and get us down and bring us down and get victory in this evil war. But as long as we stay close to the Most High God and His Son Christ, that we shall have the victory in all these things. We just have to know that, you know, it's a war that we're fighting every day. All right? So until the next time we speak, this is Elliot. All praises and shalom.